do? Stand up, fight back! What do we do?
Stand up, fight back! As workers in the United States, we are here today to stand with you all and oppose any U.S. intervention in Venezuela. Our reasons for doing that are twofold. First, because we know the brutal history of U.S. intervention and colonialism in Latin America. It has propped up dictators, overthrown democratically elected leaders, illegally funneled drug money and weapons into war-torn regions, and trained death squads and despots at the U.S. School of the Americas.
The main issue here is about the oil. This is the main situation. Oil is a big problem. It's not Maduro, it's not Chavez, it's not Rafael Correa, it's not people in another place in the world. Right now, the main problem is the oil.
We must dispel State Department lies about Venezuela. Maduro's election was fair until the United States saw a window for intervention.
The U.S. has no legitimate claim to intervene in the internal affairs of other countries, to take sides in internal political disputes, or to undermine governments elected by the people.
Senadores de los Estados Unidos estuvieron en la frontera con Venezuela, empujando la guerra.
U.S. senators are going to the Venezuelan border, pushing war.
It's the CIA's playbook to falsely claim a foreign leader is undemocratic in order to justify invasion. And this isn't even about democracy, it's about oil.
We have seen the disastrous consequences of recent U.S. interventions in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, Yemen, and elsewhere. U.S. intervention in Venezuela can only bring further hardship and suffering for the people of Venezuela, as we saw following the U.S. government's support for the 2009 coup in Honduras that overthrew the elected government there.
Ya pasó en Irak, ya pasó en Siria, ya pasó en Libia, ya pasó en Yemen.
This has happened in Iraq, it's happened in Syria, it's happened in Libya, it's happened in Yemen.
No queremos que ahora pase nuevamente en Latinoamérica.
We don't want this to happen again in Latin America.
They're inviting aid marked strictly for Guaido and his supporters from Elliott Abrams, who used aid aircrafts to smuggle arms into Nicaragua 3 decades ago. The U.S. used forcing in humanitarian aid as pretext for turning Kosovo into a bloodbath in 1999. This is to say nothing of Airbus N881YV out of Miami, whose humanitarian aid for Venezuela included 19 assault rifles and 118 AR magazines. Last I checked, starving children can't digest bullets.
En este momento, en la frontera entre Colombia y Venezuela, lo que hay es un grupo intervencionista.
Right now, what is happening on the border of Colombia and Venezuela is an interventionist group.
They also report every mobilization of a few hundred to a few thousand people in support of the opposition, but conveniently forget about the more frequent protests, numbering in the hundreds of thousands of people in support of their government and against intervention.
Es importante que como ustedes, como ciudadanos de Estados Unidos, le digan a su gobierno que no continúe con este ambiente de intervención.
It is very important that you, as the United States citizens, tell your government to not go forward with this intervention. Ask Me Local 3800 calls for an end to threats of military and other intervention in Venezuela. No war, sanctions, or U.S.-supported coup.
Not only is Maduro not a dictator, but I know plenty of dictators installed by the U.S. Pinochet, Armas, Suharto, Trujillo, Batista, Franco, the Shah. What makes you think Juan Guaido will be any different? Hands off Venezuela! Money for jobs and education, not for bombs or intervention! Money for jobs and education, not for bombs and intervention! Money for jobs and education, not for bombs and intervention! Money for jobs and education, not for bombs and intervention! Money for jobs and education, not for bombs and intervention! Thank you so much, everyone! Hands off Venezuela!
Thank you again for coming! Hands off Venezuela!